are focusing on the first responders, our appreciation for them, just sharing some information. One good thing about this is if you know anything about Mindful Mondays or where we began, our foundation is really based on trying to debunk the myth of crabs in a barrel. Sometimes our community is known as not sharing resources. Everyone has them, but that's not always the case. So we decided to start this group, this resource, this collaboration movement to share resources. And we have one of our Milwaukee Tech Trojans on. We're all Milwaukee Tech Trojans. That's the commonality we have. We just found out we have a new Tech Trojan in the audience. So thank you for coming back again. Kariana, she's already an OG Trojan, as we call her and her twin sister. But we have Frederick here. Frederick has so many talents. I don't even know where to begin with Frederick. He's a man of many talents, actually. He's been on Master Chef. If you saw Fox 6 yesterday morning, they took the time to interview him. He spoke about his experience on Fox on Master Chef. He's also a yogi. Is that what they call it, Frederick?
Yes.
Okay. He's a yogi, so he had his own studio. Studio 69 still has it. He's also martial arts, which I just found out recently, probably about 5 years ago. I've been on several years. He's a martial art instructor, as well as he's a lifesaver. So he's here to talk to us today about his life-saving experience and anything else he wants to say. So thank you so much, Frederick. And you can start with just what I may not even know about you. I appreciate you being here.
Okay, absolutely.
Thank you, Frederick.
All right, thank you. I don't need no mic, right? Y'all can hear me? Okay, good. All right, first of all, I want to thank Fred and Chantel and the Greenwood Art Gallery for inviting me here. I've been here.
I'm sorry. Is it green? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
People in the audience have missed everything that you said. I'm sorry about that. Go
ahead. I've been here several times, many times, even prior to the Mindful Monday sessions that we have here. And I just kind of listened to Fred and Chantel, and then Grown at the time. I would hear them talking about, producing. It was like they was cooking something up in the pot, and I just wanted to get my hand in there and touch it a little bit. But I've been privy to watch, Fred and this movement and Chantel, the Mindful Mondays, to grow where it is right now. I've seen it where there's, large crowds and when there's crowds like this. But the whole idea, once again, is to, bring people in and go against that crab in the bucket type of mentality, and to be able to share so many different mindsets and talents that we have in Milwaukee. Sometimes Milwaukee is underlooked, but we have a lot of talent here. But when it comes to the art, this is a beautiful place. There's so much good spirit in here, so I thank you, Fred and Chantel, but I thank you for maintaining this, after Pops. So anyways, once again, my name is Frederick Coleman. I'm known by a few names in the city of Milwaukee, but Frederick Coleman will suffice at this particular time. As Chantel mentioned, I am a Milwaukee firefighter. I came on the fire department back in 2004, and I have, a few more years left, but I've been able to maintain myself physically and mentally at sometimes, to keep on going. Part of the job that people don't realize is that we actually see everything. Before you all see it on the news, we already been there and done that. All right. And so I always like to, applaud and take my hat off to all of the men and women of the Milwaukee Fire Department, and not to take away from what police do. Police got a whole different type of thing. But as far as the fire department, a lot of people say, well, y'all running in burning buildings. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It takes a certain type of mindset. The rats be literally, sometimes you see the rats and the cats and the dogs running out of houses, but it takes a certain amount of certain mindset and a certain spirit. And I'm grateful to have that mindset and that spirit to actually go in and do those things. But for the most part, it's not just all about fire. A lot of the calls that we get are medical. Mostly medical. We see people in their worst situations. We never judge people, whatever situations they're in, because I might be there. Some of you all may have been in situations where you have to call 911, and that's just the way it is. So I've seen everything, you know, the death, I've given birth. I helped give birth to a baby at one point in the car. So I've experienced both sides of, you know, our life, the death and the birth. But with that being said, I always try to get more of the youth, no matter, even if they don't want to be a firefighter, just put an application in, because you 17, 18 years old right now, and you don't know where your mind or what your life is going to be like in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you know, particularly when it comes to financially. And I was just talking to Kira today when we got here. What really attracted me is when they said you work one day and you 2 days off. I'm like, what? I don't got to work no 9 to 5, because I can't stand 9 to 5 even to this day. But one day on, 2 days off, and then you could trade days, and then you could travel. And I love to travel. I've been to a few places that I would love to go back to, many other places too. But anyways, enough of that. As Chantel said, I do teach self-defense. I've been teaching self-defense for about 25, excuse me, close to 30 years now. Men, women, and children. I love it. It's a part of my life. I probably think about it every day when I wake up. You know, I probably have conversations with it. Got one of my students in the audience. Uh, 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 you've come, you know, many times, you know, and helped me out situations. I love the arts. Yoga is something I've been doing even before I joined the fire department. I used to wake up in the morning before I went to the academy and did yoga on my kitchen floor. And I used to watch the Filipino lady on Channel 10 in the morning. Didn't know what she was saying, but I just did everything she did. But the biggest part that really attracted me at the end, she just like, just let everything go, you know, and you're just relaxing. And I'm like, that's where I built my mind from that aspect. And so when I would go to the academy and they running us all day in our hard uniforms, running up and down stairs and climbing ladders, you know, we had to run everywhere we went, even with our equipment. I just would always remember what she would say in the morning, just relax, you know. So that's helped me through that. The other thing is she mentioned MasterChef. I was on season 7 MasterChef with Gordon Ramsay. I was top 40 out of 27,000 people in America, and I actually made the television. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I can cook a little bit. I cook a little bit. No, he's really it's television. You have to think it's all television. But he's really a nice man. He's a really nice person. The one thing I tell people about restaurants, if you own a 5-star restaurant, I'm just gonna put it this way: if you owned a 5-star restaurant and one of your cooks just serving some crap, you're not gonna be like, oh, don't do this. Don't. You're gonna be like, what? You're gonna raise your voice sometimes. So that's kind of what you see. But once again, it's television, so he has to, you know, exert some type of attitude like that to get the viewers, and even to the point where, like, I don't like Gordon Ramsay, but he's really a nice guy in person. Very nice, family man, very smart. Uh, and that's really all I got to say on that aspect. But yeah, I'm a chef and I do catering and I love to cook. I am the firehouse cook. They call me the best cook on the fire department. I don't claim that, but they say it. But I get it. I understand. So anyways, I'm not here to talk about all that, but I'm here to talk about a little bit of fire safety. Um, in Milwaukee, we have what we call a focus program. And I don't know if any of you have had a firefighter come knocking on your door or leave a message or whatnot, but we have a focus program where we pick the houses in the neighborhood wherever our firehouse is. And that particular area will knock on the door and just to check to see if everybody has working smoke detectors. You'll be surprised that people look around like, I didn't even know if I had smoke detectors. It happens all the time. But we do that for that particular reason. You see on the news probably within the last year or two where there were some people who perished in the fire because they didn't have sprinklers. But in your home, if you're a resident, you're not going to have sprinklers. You really want the smoke detector. Well, in the fires that these people perished in, they should have had, in my opinion, and I want to, it's not even, for some reason they got passed the law. The building got passed the law, but they should have had sprinklers in there. All right. Um, but going back to what we do with the focus program, we knock on doors just to see if everybody has working smoke detectors. And if they don't, we actually will install and give you a smoke detector. So I'm saying that, and I'll probably repeat it. If any of you feel like you need or want smoke detector, you will have to call. I'll give you the number in a little bit. You call that number, you give them your name, your address, and your number, and they'll call you back and set up a time to come to your home and install those smoke detectors. And at that particular time is that time when you actually ask questions, because some people have smoke detectors that might just start making noises all of a sudden. They don't make noise no more, or they were like, I wasn't even cooking, So I'll talk about that in a few minutes as I'll show you one of the smoke detectors. But yeah, with our focus program, we try to go to all residential properties. We don't too much go into the apartment buildings. The only time we deal with the apartment buildings is if we're going in for a medical emergency. And I'm big on that when I go in place, particularly when it's children. I first thing I do, I look around and I would say, hey, do you I don't care what's going on. Not saying that if we doing CPR, I stop and say, hey, y'all got, I don't do that. But at some point I say, hey, do you got smoke detectors? Got working smoke detectors? And that's when you learn that people be like, I don't know. Literally people say, I don't know. It looked like something on the wall back there. All right. Or I'll ask, when was the last time you tested? And you should at least test your smoke detector once a year. I tell people nowadays twice. Just think about your birthday, or think about January 1st and uh, December 31st. All right, that's almost a whole year, but at least check it. Nowadays, we have what we distribute. I'm gonna grab one real quick. We don't give you smoke detectors that have batteries in there that you have to change anymore. There's nothing wrong with the ones that you have that have the batteries that you have to change batteries, but these right here, you don't have to change the batteries in this one. Not to say that it won't go faulty or anything like that, but you won't have to change the batteries in that, but you do have to test it from time to time, just like anything else. It does have a hush button on there. That's another thing. People who may smoke in their homes, they turn off the hush button and then they don't turn it back on. The other thing is properly positioning a smoke detector. Some people have the smoke detectors inside of the kitchen. You don't necessarily need it inside of your kitchen, all right? Because every time you cook, it's gonna go off, right? So if you have one in your kitchen, that's up to you. I had one in my kitchen, and I had a cookout. I actually did a food demo in my kitchen. And while I'm doing the food demo live on social media, my smoke alarm, my detector goes off in the middle of me doing. I thought it was one of the funniest things. Some people thought it would be embarrassing, but it wasn't. I thought it was funny, so I still think it's funny. So, anyways, positioning your smoke detector, you want to position it outside of your. So, say this is your kitchen in here. All right, you want it. First of all, you want it about 20 feet away from your stove. That's about the approximate amount of space that you need. But if you're going to position it outside of the kitchen, don't put it directly over the door either, because guess what? The smoke is coming right this way out the door. You want it about 12 inches to the left or the right of your door. All right. That way, yeah, the smoke, if it's smoking in your kitchen, it's going to come out, but it's not going to directly hit this, but it will hit the smoke detector because these are very sensitive. All right. So positioning the smoke detector is very important. That a lot of people don't pay attention to. I see smoke detectors laying on people's kitchen tables sometimes, on the coffee table. And I understand that some people just take it down because it might have been beeping, but they don't check to see the reason why it might be beeping. Might need a battery, or it might just be no good anymore, right? So they just take it and they just put it on the table. So if you ever get one, or if you get a new residence, or if you feel like you just want to go home and reposition it, please do. The other thing we recommend is you having one outside of each bedroom. Now with the bedrooms, you can have one right over the door. All right. So we do suggest that whether you got 5, 6 bedrooms, have a smoke detector. All right. In your basement, have a smoke detector, because you got your furnaces down there. Uh, you also have your gas dryers, you got gas pipes, you got things like that. Having a smoke detector in the basement, and what I mean by that, it doesn't necessarily have to be right by your dryer, but you got stairs coming up. That first part where you can put it on the stairs. All right, because guess what? The smoke is going to rise again, right? So at least if the fire is in your basement, the smoke is going to rise up before it gets to you upstairs where you at. Your alarm is going to go off right there by the steps. All right. So I always talk about, like positioning it. Now, the other thing is, and I don't want to be so long-winded, is that when we talk about our focus program back in 2025, last year, we hit about 14,000 or more residents knocked on and distributed smoke detectors. And once again, I'm sure that, it has helped in certain instances, people burning food. Uh, I've been to many fires. I've been in many calls at 3 o'clock in the morning where somebody left some hot dogs on the stove, and now the whole apartment building is and the person is in their sleep. I've been there so many times, and gratefully it hasn't been any casualties. I haven't gotten any casualties from that, but I have seen some casualties. I've seen whole families gone. But the hot dog thing is like a common thing, or putting the pizza in the oven and going to sleep and that type of deal. So having a smoke detector, in some cases, because they're so loud, will wake up people. All right. So like I said, we hit about 14,000 this year. I can't really estimate because we're still in that season of giving out smoke detectors. Chief Lipsky of the fire department, he and I worked together when he wasn't the chief on many occasions. And I know that he takes that very seriously in terms of the safety of the city. All right. And about 6 to 10 homes, I would say about 6 out of 10 homes have a smoke detector. The other 4 don't. So you think about the fact that if they got children, or if, once again, they go to sleep with the hot dogs on the stove, this possibility might not make it. Hoarders, there's people who hoard. I've been in people's homes where you literally have to walk, just like this to get to wherever they are, or in a room. I've gone down basement stairs where it's just this amount bound. Now, if it's a fire for us, when there's a fire, we can't hardly see stuff sometimes. So we just like, boom, we just walking through stuff. And sometimes some of us gotten injured. I've fell through a floor. I've burnt my wrist before. I've got shot on the job. But going down the stairs and you have the different things that's kind of keeping you, or the hoarders, you have so much stuff there that we can't move around, it would make it difficult for us to even try to rescue people. All right. So we have to keep those things in mind when we do go in people's homes as well. What else was I going to share? I think the other parts that I really wanted to share was the extinguishers, having extinguishers in your home. They now don't just sell the big red extinguishers. They sell some like handheld ones now. So you don't have to have, the big one on your wall anymore unless you got some apartment buildings. I think that that's required. But for your own personal, they got the kind where it's just like a handheld, because if you got a fire in your on your stove, that little one is probably gonna put it out. All right. I learned the lesson when I was I think I was 16. I went to tech. I was in tech. I used to babysit my niece and nephews, and came home from baseball practice, and I went to sleep while they was watching cartoons, and I put some grease on it, make some French fries. And I went to sleep, and some just made me wake up. So I go in the kitchen, and it's a fire coming out the fire. And I didn't know at the time. I put some water on it. Now, see, every time I say that, everybody like, woo, I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know. I did not know. And yes, my mama was at work, but when she came home, I had to tell her because she looked up. She was like, and I tried to clean it. Trust me. I tried to clean it before she got home, but it was still a little residue up there. And then I had to be honest with her. You know, I said, hey, mom, you know, she wasn't upset. I'm sure she was grateful that I didn't burn up the whole house, right? Yeah, and then we was alive. Exactly. You know, so that's the bigger thing. So yeah, you know, extinguishers, smoke detectors, like I said, just being aware of your interests. You know, if you have to escape, how you gonna get out? People have bars on their windows sometimes, you know, nowadays. I'm not necessarily against bars, but if you have them, how you gonna get out? Just know that if you need to get out, that there is a way for you to get out, whether it's a key or a latch on the inside, whatever the case may be. Uh, and then, of course, windows. If you got to bust that window, like we teach the children in Survive Alive House, bust that window and get up out of there, or at least get some air, you know, because inhaling that smoke ain't no joke, you know, and I know that for sure. Um, but even on the outsides of your home, just be aware of what's outside your doors. You know, if you have to escape out of your home, or once again, if you have first responders that's coming into your home, just keep that in mind that they or we say they we because yeah. Well, the reason I say that is because I work more of a slower firehouse, and I don't see as many fires. We just had a fire last night, as a matter of fact. I don't see as many fires, but when I have gone into fires, like I said, the floor that I fell in, I was in the attic, and I had got burnt on my wrist, and so I'm backing out to go check on my wrist, and I stood up, and as I stood up, one leg went through the floor, so now I'm stuck in it, like I'm literally like this in the floor. My leg is under the floor, and I'm trying to pull my leg out. Nobody even knew I was stuck in the floor. Nobody even knew because I'm on my way out. Nobody knew, so I'm trying to pull up my leg, and my boot is starting to, or my pants leg is starting to come up. So now I can start feeling the heat on my leg, and I'm like, let me relax. All right, because you start panicking, right? I'm already burned. I had a 3rd-degree burn on my wrist. So I wasn't concerned about that no more. I'm concerned about my leg being here and stuck and nobody know I'm here. And so eventually, you know, I kind of pulled my leg out and I got out. But that wasn't one of the worst ones. The worst one was, and I'm just going to share this story and then we'll move on for some questions if we need be. I mentioned Chief Lipsky. He and I was in the attic on Buffum and off of North Avenue. This was probably back in 2007 or something like that. And we were in the attic, and to make a long story short, we felt like we was trapped. All right. And because we weren't putting the fire out, we up there, you know, hitting it, and we could hear them saying the smoke is not going out, you know, and there's like more and more firefighters outside, but we were the only two in the attic. And so it get to the point where if you don't know exactly where you are, you get lost. So he was about to bust the window and jump out. And that's the only exit that you have. If you can't find the door, you got to jump out the window. All right. So we were about to jump out the window, but I was like, oh, no, man, I ain't jumping out no window. So I found the stairs. You know, I kind of located the stairs, and then he's busting out the windows, and I think he about to have one leg out, and I grabbed him. I was like, yo, I found the stairs. I found the stairs. And he like pulling like, no, man, it's getting hot up in here. Right. So I found the stairs and we backed out, and we got out, and he always kind of shares the story with people. I don't share it much, but I like to share it only because of how dangerous it is for us as firefighters. And people just think that, oh, okay, well, this is what they do. No, it's pretty dangerous because we never know when my helmet almost got blew off by water coming in and all types of stuff. You know, I fell through the floor. Like I said, there's only one death that I know of over the years since I've been a firefighter. Not while I was a firefighter, but just before I came on, there was one death of a firefighter in Milwaukee. there's been many injuries and burns, and like I said, I've been shot at, things of that sort. But other than that, no deaths. So it might sound funny, but firefighting is relatively safe, so it is. But I think that was really all I really wanted to kind of share with everybody in terms of the safety aspect and the smoke detectors. I will give you that number. And for those, I don't know if you still doing social media. If not, the number is for the city of Milwaukee. If you live in the city of Milwaukee and you want a smoke detector installed or need smoke detectors installed, or even if you know anybody, you give them this number. It's 414-286-8980. That's 414-286-8980. You call there, you might get a recording. I'm sure it's a recording. You leave your name, your address, and your telephone number. And you need the address because that's going to let them know what firehouse will come and install the smoke detector in your home. All right. Telephone number 414-286-8980. I'm gonna put you on a commercial with me.
Yes, right. That's Willie's daughter.
Okay. Yeah, I see Willie. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you can call that number, and you won't be able to talk to anybody, like I said. But we always try to answer any questions that people have about smoke detectors, and anything in terms of fire safety. We're not gonna come in the middle of the night and turn your heat down like people would call us.
What?
Yeah. We get calls. People say it's hot in here. Well, why is it hot?
Wait,
we go and look at the thermostat.
Okay, I get it now. It takes me a minute. But I get it now. I get it.
Right.
It takes me a minute. I got it. Oh, okay. I got it.
Like, okay. Oh, that's how you do it? Yeah, that's how you do it.
Come take my temperature.
Right.
You don't take temperatures.
Oh, I've had that too. I've had where it's people who just need somebody to talk to in the middle of the night. Like literally, grandma, sometimes just need that hug.
Yes.
She feel all better, once you give her the hug.
Yes.
So
do you all do that?
I've hugged plenty of grandmamas.
Okay.
I've hugged plenty of grandmamas.
They come younger and younger now. Your grandmamas are in their 30s. You have to be very specific when you say that, Frederick. You're a married man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a part of the job, it's part of the job, Well, and to mention that our main three things in terms of firefighter is life safety and property conservation. All right. And also education, which is pretty much what I'm doing tonight, is to help you all understand a little bit more. If you knew what you knew right now, a reminder is a blessing, as I say. But if you learned a little bit more, share with other people, because it's not fun for us, or it don't feel good for us when we go to fires and there's children who didn't make it. Like I said, I've seen it. Yeah, and it's not fun, to watch the parents and the neighbors who may know the children, even animals. I mean, we pull animals out, dogs and cats and things of that sort. But yeah, whatever information you may have gotten today, please share with people. And I guess at this particular point, I could just open up for any questions or comments if there is any.
Well, I do have a question. But first, before that, let's give it up for this.
Yeah, thank you.
So my question is, you mentioned those fire detectors. The ones you give out now are not battery operated. What is it? A forever battery in there?
Yeah. You can call it a forever battery, but it ain't gonna be forever. I believe it's a 20-year battery. But once again, I wouldn't rely on the fact that it's 20 years. I'm still gonna test it twice a year, and it could go faulty in 1 month. You know, never know. But the battery, you don't have to change it. There's no battery to change. And that becomes part of the obstacle for some people is changing that battery. Once again, I mentioned grandma. Grandma ain't getting up on no ladder, you know, to change no battery, or maybe not even test it. You see what I'm saying? So yes, these are the ones that you really want to get. And I would take advantage of, excuse me, I would take advantage of getting these because I've gone to the hardware store. These things cost like $30, $20, $40. You know, when you can just call the city of Milwaukee and get one installed.
They are very sensitive
For free.
though.
And they're very sensitive. Absolutely.
I have like 3 of them in my house, so apartment, I'll say that. But I have 3 of them in my apartment, and even if I like take a like my smoke detector is right, it's in one of my rooms, there's one in my son's room, but then there's one outside of the room, but it's next to the bathroom.
That's to the bathroom and the steam.
But it's that steam that really messes me up. And I remember I took a shower in the middle of the night, not thinking nothing of it, but once I heard that alarm, I had to take it off. I said, I'm not gonna wait for this alarm to go off or have somebody, but mind you guys, like I'm in an apartment, so once you take it out, the alarm downstairs to the signal or whatever smoke detector signal for the apartment will keep going off until you pop it right back.
That's good for safety.
Yeah.
That's
Like
really
you
good for
really
safety.
have to pop it back in, but
Yeah.
like I don't know if they still do based off like a 10-minute, 15-minute, like for it to take out. That's what one of the maintenance told me. Like you have to take it out, wait at least 10 to 15 minutes, pop it right back in, then it's like automatic reset. It will flash green, let you know that you're good. But when you see red, that's your warning right off the gate, your first warning. But I would say it's a little bit more efficient compared to the other ones. I don't know if it does like how our old ones used to do, where it beeps when we need to change.
The low battery.
Right,
Yeah,
the beep.
I don't know if that does that.
No, they don't do it. But if they do it, once again, that means that it's time to replace it.
Oh.
You know, and based on all of what you said, yeah, we definitely got to do a commercial. She just said, yeah, you know, but no, absolutely. Steam also will do that as well. You know, I'm glad you mentioned that hookah smoke. You know, people think, you know, little things, you know, it'll make it go off. They are very sensitive, but thank you for sharing that. The other thing I forgot to mention.
Yeah, I'm in the road at midnight shower.
I mean, like, I don't know about talking to my neighbor, you like hearing the noise.
Oh, yeah.
Is it my alarm? Is it the alarm from in the hallway?
From the hallway,
like,
right.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
But it's that red flag. You're like, okay, there's no fire. I just gotta take this out. Otherwise, legitimately, the fire department would then eventually come. I'm pretty sure they know. I don't know if like you guys know if it's a warning.
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm glad you mentioned that. There's some people who have a hardwired smoke detector, meaning that there's wires that go into the smoke detector. And sometimes most times that is hooked up to the 911 system or your alarm company. Yeah, if you have the kind that got the wires. And then a lot of times we'll go to apartment buildings and the whole apartment building's going on. And I feel sorry for them because sometimes it could be in the middle of the night and we don't turn those off. This is not for us to turn it off. There's no way for us to turn it off. And people get mad at us, but there's no way for us to turn it off. That's not I ain't gonna say it's not our issue, but it's not our issue. That's the apartment complex, and the owner and the manager has to come and get that turned off. All right, so there are different smoke detectors. Once again, thank you for sharing that. There's some that has the wires, hardwired. All right, and that could become an issue sometimes for some people. How do you change that? Once again, we just had one about a week ago. All of detectors are going off because of that one. All right. But we just had to tell them to call their alarm company. We unplugged them all, and then we just gave them one of these until we actually gave them 2 until their alarm company came out and repaired it. So that's the best that we could do at that time. Brother Ajman, you had a...
Yes. So I guess my question is, how do you deal with the weight of your job? You mentioned loss of life. You mentioned all of these traumatic things, being shot, so on and so forth. How do you balance taking that home or not taking that home? How do you deal with that?
Great question.
And how long you been on the force? I mean, I know you have a gap in between, but how much time you got in service?
20 at this time. That's a very good question. my very first week on the fire department, there was a little girl who got hit by a car, and she was the same age as my daughter. So I'm in the middle of the street, almost in my feelings, like, oh my God, you know, that type of deal. And how should I say this? We are not necessarily taught, but you begin to get this, what you call a callous mind. Not that you don't care. It's just that you realize that after I just dealt with this young girl, and got her to the hospital, on my way back to the firehouse, somebody else across town experienced the same thing or worse. And so I can't get attached to this aspect and not be able to take care of grandma when I go and see her. How do you not take it home? It's hard for a lot of people to take it home. You may see news stories about, I would say mostly, hopefully ain't no police officers in here, but mostly law enforcement. Law enforcement see a lot of stuff, and they tend to kind of have a hard time I call it depressing. And it could be the same way with a firefighter. Yeah, we have certain things that we take home with us. But for me, you know, I have to do that yoga, man.
Right.
You know, I have to, you know, go home and say, I just came from work, but I got my babies at home. They got to have me. I gave myself to the city for them 24 hours or them 48 hours, but my babies need me, you know, and they need to see me in my best moments. Yeah, I've gone home like tired. Like I'm tired now. I was working last night, but I've gone home where I might not have had the energy that I wanted for my children, you know, but I couldn't neglect them. You know, I had to give it to them as best I can, you know, and then go in my own corner and cry or, man, you know, whatever I'm going to do. But for the most part, you know, it takes you leaving that at work and coming home and depressing, you know. Once again, with me doing yoga, that has helped me over the years. In fact, some of them tease me, and they have this joke like, man, we would wake up in the morning and Fred is out there doing yoga, you know, like in the firehouse. I'll be out there laid out, you know, like at 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. And they have this joke about they go to yoga, man, you know, so I'm known for yoga as well. But I use the meditational part of yoga. It wasn't just the poses and stuff like that. And I tell people the yoga is what keeps me balanced, you know, in any situation, you know, even within the martial arts, you know, there's some type of meditation and quietness that you have to have. So I try to stay cool, you know, at all times, you know, even when I'm at work and yeah, it's hectic, you know, we doing CPR. I still got to, you know, stay cool. This is what I do. You know, I know what I'm doing here. You know, I'm not frantic. You know, yeah, I've had children like unconscious. Okay, well, I'm gonna do what I can do. You know, so once again, just kind of, you know, I use my quiet time, or I take some time for myself to, you know, get that out of my head as much as possible. You know, so
Now,
yes.
that was a great question. Now, to piggyback off of that same question, do the community show firefighters appreciation? You know, just citizens throughout your calls and stuff. Do you get that appreciation from the community?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I've mentioned in the interview that we had the other morning where we're in the grocery store. There's always people saying, man, thank you for your service. You know, thank you for doing what you do. Anybody, if people know you're a firefighter, we get that a lot. Even going into the homes. Now I can tell you also we can get the reverse too. We got people who's like, what y'all doing here? Like, we here to help. Well, we want an ambulance, you know, or, you know, yeah, you know, well that's that's the thing people don't know. You call 911, you get us first. That's the reason they call us the first responders. Yeah, you call 911, we coming. right?
Oh, wow.
Or the police comes, you know, depending on what the emergency is. But if you call them because your big toe hurting, which we get, your big toe hurting in the middle of the night, we showing up and we're gonna examine your big toe.
They would say the firefighters.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So if you just want an ambulance, you got to call it an ambulance, right?
Call 911.
If you call 911,
Why is that? What's that?
Why is that?
because depending on your emergency, all right. So if you're having heart pain, I'll just say that heart pain, you yourself know whether or not you just want an ambulance or you really feel like something is wrong. So if it's really something wrong, and I would advise you really feeling that, call 911, because when we show up, we have what it is to check you out first, examine you first. We determine whether or not we got our machine. I handle what we call a Zoll, where we put stickers on you, check your pulse, check your blood pressure. I read my readings. I can say, okay, yeah, your blood pressure is kind of high. Then we begin to start asking questions. Do you have high blood pressure? What kind of medications do you have? So we're the first responders to figure out if you really need the next step, which is our paramedic. Call our paramedic. Yeah, you know, or you just need to go sit down somewhere, right? so whatever it is. So yeah, we are the first line of defense per se. You know, and then we determine and we'll ask, even if your big toe is hurting, you want to go to the hospital, and they say yeah, we call an ambulance. All right. But depending on our examination, if your blood pressure is up, or we check your sugar and this says high on our glucometer, we either give you some glucagon or we call them the paramedics, because the paramedics is the ones who can give you the shots. We don't give the shots. You know, I can help you give the glucagon and give you some albuterol for your asthma. But as far as needles, that's not something I do. That's the paramedics. All right. And then the paramedics, if need be, will take you to the hospital. Yeah. But with fire, people want to get on the fire truck. They be like, man, you can't get on the fire truck. Like, no, we don't transfer people on the fire truck. But once again, it's an educational thing. You know, and just like I just shared with you, when you call 911, people are like, oh, and a lot of people don't know that, you know. So, yep, as soon as you call 911, yep, you waking me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Because you broke your finger yesterday, and you don't know.
Just to ask, I know we want to give people more time to try the wines. I hear the DJ here too, but I know we want to give you some time to enjoy the company here. I want to ask, just to piggyback off of what Frederick said, how can we assist more? You mentioned when we see you in the grocery store, and this is something I just recently found out, that each firehouse is responsible, the firefighters, for purchasing their own meals. You know, we found out about that in Mindful Mondays. That's something we like to donate a $100 gift certificate to the firehouse that you are representing, of course. Yeah, so we can have one of those Freddie Mac chef meals. So we want to do that. In addition to that, how can individuals or families come, or organizations come and support you? Do people sponsor meals for that? Because I'm sure you have to have your nutrients to get out there and fight these fires and hug grandmas.
Oh yeah.
So, how can we help you with that?
That's one of the things that people actually do. Some people bring food, you know, most of the times like donuts and cookies, you know, stuff like that. But there's people who, if you know a firefighter in their firehouse, you just say, hey, I want to bring, you know, some food one day, or I want to donate, you know, this or that. Maybe even, well, we don't need cases of water more. We kind of take care of that now. But yeah, you know, your firehouse in your area, there's nothing wrong with going and say, hey, I want to, you know, donate something. You know, I don't think we take money. I think the money would have to go to like the downtown, and then they'll disseminate it or whatever. But as far as gift certificates, you know, we can do that, and gift cards, yeah, things like that. Other than that, that's pretty much all that we get or we ask for. There's other little things that people do for other firehouses. Every firehouse has a different culture. You know, that's the other thing. So but
Where is your firehouse?
my firehouse is Engine 38 up on Granville, 86 something. 86. Hold on, let me think about it. 8623 North Granville or something like that. We're up there by Benson High School. So we're the guardians of the North Side. Yeah, right.
Good question.
Oh.
Just got a quick comment.
Yes.
I found out 3 years ago that if you have the small extinguisher or the bigger one, you get a discount on your homeowner's insurance.
Oh.
So, just put it out there.
Okay. It makes sense. Makes sense.
And backing off her question, it was about the handheld extinguishers too. Are there for different types of fires, like or is it universal?
No, there are different types of fires. So just like we carry everything on our fire truck. But the first thing that we take out, if we just know it may be just like a small fire, we got what we call a pump can. It got water in there, right? And then we have one with dry chem in there, dry chemicals. That's one that, we have that in there. So there's different grades of fires. There's the A, B, C, and D type fires.
So that handheld one comes in the different grades?
For the most part, it just comes in that one grade, which is,
so it is universal.
yeah. So it's set up for home fires. So you would think your home fire is probably just going to be some grease.
That's what I'm thinking.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm primarily thinking.
Electrical fire, it may work with that, for the most part, but don't put no water on no electrical fire, right? So that's the reason for like the home extinguishers is for you to put out the cooking fires as well as maybe a little small electrical fire. Yeah.
Great question. Great question. Well, thank you all so much. We appreciate everyone coming out to support. We appreciate your assistance, everything that you do for the community too, Frederick. I know you do volunteering over the summer. I know you used to be down at the beach and at the lake. Mm-hmm. Just to summarize here, do you do your personal catering? You want to share some information if someone is interested in tasting that master chef meal that you offer? I've had the pleasure of experiencing several of your meals, and I mean, even the healthier meals. I've even asked Frederick to do some meal prep for me.
Yeah.
So Frederick, he's such a great cook. But what if they want to get in touch with you about some of your personal catering services?
Yeah, I don't have my catering business per se anymore, but it is it's Table 69 Catering. But I guess I can give you my information if you are interested. And before I say that, I'll cook. I'm gonna say I cook everything, but I love cooking. And I never turn down most catering jobs. I don't like big weddings because it ain't no fun. I like small, intimate, cooking. I'm a fine dining type of cooker, where I could just kind of like dot my food and talk to it and show it some love. I don't like the scrambling, So if you want to take down my number, it's 414.
This is all going to be online. So if you want to give us your social media,
I'll give you my social media. I'm sorry.
Why don't you do that? Because this is online.
I
know Frederick is also a newlywed.
Hey, who's just calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning?
He has a wedding ring on.
I just came from the club and I don't got the munchies.
Get your social media handle. Let's slow down.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You got my back. Yeah. So my social media. Thank you. Social media on Instagram, it is Studio 69 Yoga. All right. And then on Facebook, it's my name, Frederick Coleman. And then from there, you'll see where my catering site is on there, which is Table 69. And then also my yoga as well. Yes. Studio 69 Yoga.
And we're going to share I'm sorry. Go ahead,
I do have one last question. Speaking of plugging yourself, besides the catering, Tell the audience if they don't know what you do in the summertime, like you did it last summer in regards to yoga at the lake. When you had donations for the kids or something.
Yeah.
Explain that to the audience.
Yeah. Last year, me and my business group, Unitatum, we gave away book bags, and the way I promoted it was that we do yoga in the morning time. And I've been doing this for a few years now. It started off with just me and my daughter. She's 17 now, but she was only like 3. So I would go to the beach on some Saturdays or Sundays and me and her just be down there on the beach, and then I'll pull my grill out and I'll cook a little bit of something for us on the grass. And then we go home. So then I started inviting people. And then when I started really teaching yoga, I started inviting people to come for a yoga class. And then I said, we'll do yoga at a certain time in the morning time, talk a little bit, take an hour break. We're going to go over to the grass setup and we're going to cook and we're going to socialize a little bit. All right. And then it got to the point where if you didn't want to come down to your yoga, just come down and socialize with us, and have some food, or vice versa. And then I said, you know what? I want to do a little bit more. I want to have a book bag giveaway. All right. So had a book bag giveaway. I incorporated all those things. I did the yoga. I had to have somebody cook this time because we had to cook for, a couple of hundred people. All right. And so we do plan on doing it this year. It's going to be a last minute thing, but we will be doing it this year. But it's fun. Particularly when it's children who have never even been down to the lake. They don't have to be on the sand, but just to see the water. And I listen to people's reactions, even the parents sometimes. They be like, I don't normally come down here, but this is nice. Yep, because you need to get out of the smog of the cars and come down here and smell some of this fresh air. I don't care what size you are, what color you are, because I have white, I have black. Don't matter how old you are, come on down there and socialize and have a little fun. All right. It make you feel better when you go home and you tell a friend. I had a few people up in here that's been at the beach, and some of my events. So it's always fun. It's always fun. But thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Frederick. I appreciate you. As you mentioned here, I'm just talking on the screen here. We're going to get back to, we have the DJ here. So she's been playing the ones and twos for us. We do appreciate you. We also have wine tasting going on by Dr. Myers. We also shared that. We're going to be putting Frederick's information online too when he does have his retreat at the beach. So please feel free to like the page, share the information. We're at Mindful Mondays MKE. .com. Thank everyone for coming. We appreciate you all. So now we can just network, finish up some wine, purchase some bottles if you want. We also have Ebony here. She is the owner, and I'm going to go back in her room right when we finish here because she always has a beautiful setup here. We also have K Complexity here. She's one of the artists. She's done some work here for us too. Appreciate her. We have Ajamu Butler here. He's also having another Heal the Hood event on August 29th. So we're always going to share his information. Yeah, so he's from Heal the Hood. So we also had a collaboration with him. So thank you all for coming. We have our girl there, of course, and Nat from the city of Milwaukee. We appreciate her for coming out, supporting us today as well. And of course, can't forget my bestie over there, Carrie Ann. I appreciate you, girl. So thank you all for coming. Our guest of the hour. Luckily, I saved him, didn't get that number out, but we got to share all the other information. And if y'all want to, just call me. I'm not like that. Share resources. Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Bye-bye.